So I know we had, and one thing I wanted to talk about because we didn't get to, well, your argument with the it's not made for you line that I gave in your chat.
Oh, I would have to actually. What exactly did you say?
Okay, so okay, we were talking about, or you were talking about rather, because I was in the chat about DC, and I think specifically it was about Jackson Hyde, and you not liking it, and I basically said it's not made for you.
Jackson Hyde,
Aquaman the Becoming.
Oh, Aquaman the Becoming. Well, okay. First of all, let's go with the general argument. It's not made for you is the most ignorant, and I'm not saying you're ignorant. You're not the one that came up with it. I truly believe that's an ignorant argument because what they're saying is we're creating a product, but we want a limited audience. No, they want a broad audience. They want to sell comics to everybody. Their whole thing is if they don't make money, that comic gets canceled. So they want to appeal to everybody. So that's one of the reasons why I don't buy that as an argument, because it just doesn't, it actually is counterproductive to what they truly want. So whoever started it, I think really didn't think that particular argument through. It's not made for you. Now there are books that are literally made for a specific audience.
And you don't have a problem with that, but you have a problem with the argument. Do you see how that's kind of silly?
Not even a little bit.
It's okay to have there is businesses models.
This isn't one of those books. See, usually the books that I'm talking about would be like you would have, I forget what it was called, but it was like Marvel Age or something like that, and it was specifically aimed to kids. Generally, if something is specifically aimed at somebody, it's marked as specifically aimed at someone. Now, if you want to say that DC's putting that little rainbow bullet on it and saying this is only for gay people, then okay, they're making a book for that. But that's not what they're doing here. They're trying to get
new readers.
They're trying to get new readers, but I'll guarantee you they don't want to lose the old readers.
Right, and they have plenty of other books to choose from. I don't see like how you can say that one book is okay to have a targeted demographic, but another is not.
It's because it's marked for it. That's
and so are those books. That's marked for the pride symbol.
Once again, only if they truly mean with this pride symbol, we're saying that it's only for gay people. And then if that were the case, then why is it only on variant covers and not all of the covers? Because the gay pride is a variant. It's not the main cover. So they do want an audience for it. My problem with the book itself is the way he's written. Now, once again, let's get this straight up, because I will not have this mistake being made about me. I don't give a crap if a character's gay.
Oh no, I didn't.
Write them well.
I didn't insinuate that at all.
Yeah, but I just wanted, because there are new people. People are like,
I get that.
Who is this Englentine guy? I have no problem with that. What really bothers me is how he is written, how Jonathan Kent will be written, how they're drawn, how Tim Drake is now going to be drawn and written, and it's going to be completely different than how it was before. So what we end up getting is some of the worst stereotypes. And that's what bothers me. I know I work at theme parks with entertainment and everything. I know a lot of gay people, and you know what? They don't all act swishy gay.
Right.
If you look at how Aquaman is drawn, or Aqualad, excuse me, how he's drawn from Young Justice, he could still be gay, but he doesn't have to have that look and the sheen and this look on him all the time. There is a difference in the way that they draw him, the body movements and everything, the conversation he has. In his first issue, it's more about him getting with this guy at a restaurant than it is anything else. It's like all of a sudden that's all they become when they do this.
That was like 2 pages.
It was just 2 pages. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll concede that point, but I also think it would be kind of cool if the guy was straight. You know, there's this thing that happens also.
No.
Well, to be
What?
fair, him being gay, you gotta blame Jeff Johns for misinterpreting what Greg Weisman had in mind. And Weisman wanted him to be bi. Jeff misinterpreted.
I'm talking about the guy in the diner.
Oh, that would be a different story to tell.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Sorry,
because there's this thing also that happens when a character becomes gay. Every guy he walks into is gay.
Okay, that is fair.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen in real life. So I've been hit on, and
it would have been a nice gag, yeah.
So you do have this conversation, these stories that aren't being told because they seem to be afraid of the characters they're creating. There's stories there. My big problem with of course everybody's got a problem with John being aged up, but what if this romance thing didn't come out of left field? The story, there is no story. The story is the announcement. They didn't come out and say, oh, we got this great story to tell. We really want to. They said, boom, this is it. This is all. And so there's no going through the process. If we had Jonathan Kent, who never had to deal with this before because as a kid, of course, he didn't know. You know, and then he was immediately aged up and thrown into the Legion of Superheroes, Bendis, and then he was, you know, and so he never really had time. So now he comes to Earth and he's got a chance to take a breath. And while he's doing that, he meets these people, and it's kind of weird to him because, well, Dad's not gay. Why am I? You know. I think there was such a missed opportunity to tell a true coming out story.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
They messed it up with Tim Drake. They messed it up with John Kent. This could have been a subplot, not a main plot, but a subplot that goes along to a final reveal where now this this kid has to go to the most powerful being on the planet. And even though this most powerful being is one of the most benevolent creatures in the universe, he's got to worry, how will his father act when he finds out that he's bisexual or homosexual? And I would love it if they just went full on gay, because they always do this safety thing. Oh, I'm bi. Yeah, well, you know, because if readers don't like this anymore, we could always shift it over. So they play it safe at the same time they think
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot more gay characters than there are bi male characters. So I think it's smart to make them bi. And I know people hate it. People hated it when I said it in my live stream. I still think there's an opportunity to do an Elseworld story where his father doesn't accept it and tell that story. Tell that story of acceptance. and not that they would do it. I'm talking like Injustice style, where not he goes crazy, but he gets pissed. He needs the whole point of it would be eventually acceptance. Why not tell that story? But of course they won't, because everything has to be super accepting. And I get it. Most people are just super accepting, but it also is a good. No, Tava, John Constantine is one of the good bi characters, male characters. But then again, with John Constantine, he's generally, unless it's a Elseworld story or a Black Label, he's shown with Zatanna or something like that. I mean, we've seen him with Lucifer and stuff, but that was in Black Label. So it feels like everybody is overreacting a little bit because we are only 4 issues in. And I think issue 4 was probably the best. Now, again, I think it was because I love Wink and Airy, and he brought Wink and Airy in. But I think issue 4 was the best, and I think it's getting better. I know people are upset about the immigration stuff, but at least he's using Gamora and Henry Bendix to tell a story similar to what we're seeing. Now, I don't want to go into too many allegories, but I do think there's a story to be told, and if anyone can tell it, it's going to be Tom Taylor. Like, he's got a lot of really good work under his book, you know what I mean? Like, on his docket.
Yeah, to me, he's one of those home run or strikeout people as well.
He has a better batting average though than Mark Russell.
Yes, I will admit that. Basically, I've said this: keep Tom Taylor in Elseworlds. I feel the same way about Bendis. Keep him in Elseworlds. In continuity, he writes Mustard and Bigotry. In Elseworlds, he writes, as we're about to talk later, he writes Deceased, or he'll do Injustice, and that's good. And I agree with what you said. I think there are stories to tell. Unfortunately, these announcements aren't coming from anything narrative.
Agreed.
2 or 3 years ago, they did, and I've got it on my channel. They did a convention of sorts. It was an actual comic book convention. People don't understand, but what we go to, those aren't real conventions. A comic book convention would be a whole bunch of creators getting together and talking about how to move their industry forward. They actually had one of these, and they invited a whole bunch of gay writers and artists. Mm-hmm. And they said in that convention, wherever there is a question, they are going to queer up DC. So everything, when they make this announcement, is part of an agenda. It is not narrative. They said this as a blanket statement. It wasn't, oh, well, we got this really good story with Tim Drake, and we're thinking in about 3 years it's going to break. None of that. They announced that where they can, they are going to queer up DC. That's why I said Marvel or DC is going to go more woke than Marvel, and they're going to go hard. And that's what's been happening. I wish I was wrong on this one, but I literally have the quotes on my channel.
I don't remember that. I would have to see it, but I think there's a lot of difference between agenda and theme. I don't see it as an agenda for putting in some gay representation, but like especially when we still have our cis white characters.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between DC and Marvel. Marvel, let's replace them. Let's completely undo it all. DC, as Tristen said, they're more doing the double dipping route where you have one title that's, the main original character you can go to, and you have the one that's the representation. It's not that far from what people were thinking were going to happen with 5G originally, where they thought they're going to replace everyone, but we got these other books that are going to have the traditional ones. Mm-hmm. I do think DC, that's a better ploy than Marvel, where it's like, deal with it. DC, it's like, you don't like it? Go over here.
Yeah, well, once again, if they announced we have some great stories to tell about, that would be one thing, but just to make a blanket statement,
didn't they add, after the 60s and 70s, isn't that when they started adding more black characters with less stereotypes? What's the difference?
They created new ones. Black Lightning didn't exist in any kind of form before Black Lightning. Neither did Power
Neither
Man.
did Jackson Hyde.
But that's where we are.
That's a new
right
character.
Now. But we weren't. But nobody's angry Jackson Hyde is gay. I never even made a mention of that. I'm talking about how he's.
I've seen some who.
Well, okay, I'm talking about nobody here.
Yeah. No one here.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I agree. I'm just saying I've seen some, but no one here.
I can't speak for every YouTuber with a.
But just simply saying somebody is gay doesn't necessarily make it woke. It's in the way that story is written. It can either be written poorly, or it can be written in a soapbox moralizing manner. And I don't think there was anything moralizing in that book necessarily.
Unlike the Pride book story.
The one thing that I always say on the channel as well is it's not what it's about, it's how it's about it.
Exactly.
You can have a character like this and you put him out there. And if the story's good, you're not going to care. If you think about one of the most celebrated comic book series of all time, it's filled with transgendered people, gay people, all sorts, and people love it. It's called the Sandman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, but the thing is there's two things that are going on here. It's the modern day politics surrounding identity that puts people on edge now, because it is just rammed through without thought and what we're talking about isn't representation that's going on right now. It's presentation. Right. The announcement that we're going to queer up things with no thought of story beforehand is like going, hey kids, gay people, huh? And the fact that they're not going full on, the fact that they do give themselves the out with the with making John bi and not gay or doing that.
That's not an out, though.
It absolutely is.
We have no proof of that. That's not a. There are bi men out there. Bi representation is very small.
Well, if it wasn't out, they would have done that with Alan Scott as well, to be honest. But they kept it, made him full on gay.
Where have we seen that before with DC?
With the I was gonna say with America Chavez and such like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wasn't she already established though as bi before? Or?
And then went full on gay, and then back, and then you haven't heard.
I think everyone wants to disregard what Gabby did. I think everyone wants to disregard.
No, Gabby is a freaking treasure to this world. That is one of the greatest series of all time.
Have you seen her new book lately? Everyone's trashing it on Twitter. And
I didn't know she had one actually.
Oh, she adapted some other book or whatever, and people are trashing it because it is.
You're getting me excited, Robert. My nipples are getting hard here.
I'll look it up.
Gabby Rivera book. It is so amazing. Look, yeah, I won't say unkind word about Gabby Rivera because she built my channel. Going off on the America books is what built my channel, so I appreciate her for so much. So.
It's an adaptation of her Julia takes a breath.
Okay. But yeah, they did this whole thing, and then as soon as it was done, as soon as it wasn't serving the story, they popped it back. You're right though about the fact that we have no hard evidence about what I'm suggesting would happen.
Well, and then you bring up
it is just a it's just a prediction due to what I've seen before.
Right.
But
and I understand that.
Okay, go on ahead. I know I can take over if I talk.
No. You brought up Sandman. That would not be able to exist today. There's no way. There's no way. It would have been canceled. It didn't sell well at first. It took a good, probably getting through the dollhouse to actually sell well. And then not only on top of that, you would have 45 videos going, oh my God, Desire, they're genderless. It's woke.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Calypso got raped. It's woke.
Yeah, it would probably trigger a lot of people because there is this thing I use. It's called chasing ghosts, and I watch myself on this kind of thing as well, and that's where you see it where it isn't. Because if you make videos, and I did this when we first started what became Comicsgate, you would talk about this stuff so much, and you had to get content out every day. So you would actually start seeing it where it wasn't.
I totally have been there before.
Yeah. And so it kind of corrupts you a little bit. I actually had to stop. I want to talk about actual comics and not, what Max Bemis is saying on Twitter or something like that.